Hey, good day, folks. It's Tourism Tim here with another episode, a very special episode of Tourism Marketing TV. Today I'm going to address the posting I made yesterday. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, so I'm going to be pretty laser, and I'm feeling a little under the weather. You know, it's not because I partied too hardy while I was in Canada. I think I picked something up when I was traveling, and I'm just feeling that kind of on the fringe of a cold, so bear with me. So today that we're going to cover, and I'm going to look at my notes today, so make sure that we get it all covered today. I wanted to do a quick review of some of the key videos that we covered over the last week and some key points. I'm going to answer some of your top questions that you've been sending me, and I really appreciate that. By the way, thank you all so much for all the many people who've sent me questions, and I'm going to show you a little snapshot of just how many I've gotten recently. We're going to answer some of your top questions. Specifically, we're going to talk about website design and webmasters, and I'm going to start. Well, I keep meaning to start my clock, but forget it, to keep me within time. So, how to work with them to maximize your return on investment. I see a lot of frustration, a lot of confusion about how to work with them, where they should be, and what's your role in it. And I'm seeing some disturbing patterns that I want to help correct and get you right on the right path. I've got a big announcement relative to. I announced officially yesterday that. Yes, this course is finally coming out. It's been a long time coming. You need to mark this date on your calendar. It's going to be next Wednesday, November 17th. Mark that on your calendar because I'm going to have kind of like a grand opening. And like any grand opening, there's going to be some really cool specials and some things that you're going to want to tap into. So keep your eyes posted for that over the next 4 or 5 days. I'll tell you more about it. And some of those things I'm still actually figuring out in response to the questions that you're getting. And I came up with another really cool idea today you're going to love. We're going to look at social proof again, and specifically why it's so critical to have that in all of your travel marketing. And I see it missing from so many of your stuff. And you know, it's no wonder you guys are struggling. And the last item, I got a specific call to action for you. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach it. So that's one of the things I really love about being a teacher. But I'm going to help you learn this stuff better to only help you do your marketing better, but also to help you other fellow tourism professional. So I'm going to take a quick pause. We'll get right back and we'll jump into this. All right, so we're back. The other day, I released a pretty important video, and it was a very long one because I really wanted to give you guys some of my best stuff, and it was entitled "Why Most Travel Websites and Hospitality Websites Are Dead on Arrival the Day They Are Launched and How to Make Sure Yours is one of them." Here it is, right here. I had a lot of views on that, and which is great, and I had a lot of questions and a lot of comments. You know, this is really, if you haven't watched this video, you owe it to yourself to take the time to sit down and watch it. I go through step by step as why it's so critical that you only have 7 seconds to grab someone's attention, the importance of clarity in what it is you sell, how critical social proof is to convince someone who doesn't know you from Adam that you are possibly a good choice. And also, I may have touched upon why this is so critical, especially if you hope to work with other tour operators or travel agents. So if you haven't watched that, you got to do that. I also wanted to quickly touch on what two interviews that I did recently with both JJ Fourie with Magic Day Adventures and Dan with Dan Austin with Austin Lehman Adventures, and two common elements that are critical that you understand that tie into some of your problems is that JJ, classic first tour operator, got into business, struggled a lot, relied on his website, a webmaster. He just turned it over to his webmaster and said, "Here, you give me a website that looks really pretty and that works well and will be ranked well in the search engines." Well, that was disastrous for him because he did not understand the basics of marketing communications for travel, and he didn't understand the basics of keywords in his website. Now, my new course teaches you all of that. Now, it's not you don't need to be a guru or webmaster at this, but you've got to understand the basics. And that's exactly what Dan Austin said as well. He said, about a year ago, he took over his website, and it was, did you hear what he said? He said, "I was shocked that so many of the basic things having to do with how his search website shows up in the search engines and things that had to be in his website were not even there. And he paid a lot of money for a webmaster, a web designer, to handle this for him. Big mistake. You must have a core understanding of the foundational elements so you can guide and support and double check your guys' work. Now we're going to come back to this in more detail when we do some of the Q&A, but I want you to hold that thought, that what those guys said. And once again, it set him back away. But now Dan and JJ are back on track, and business is looking really, really good. In fact, they're both going to have record years. Why? Because they learned some of the basics that I've been teaching them over these years, and which is exactly what's in this course. So let's move on to some of your top questions and answer them. Take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I'm just giving you kind of a behind-the-scenes look of what I'm dealing with, and trying to roll this course out and to really speak exactly to your core problems, your core questions, your core needs, and the help that you want. So what I've done is I got a ton of emails, I got a ton of blog postings, which is awesome. In fact, let me just pull this over here right now. In case you're wondering, where are some of these coming from? Here is that blog posting I did a week or so ago about why your website's dead on arrival. And if you want to know where you can read some of these questions and my answers, as well as get some help by posting your question, is go to the very bottom of the posting here, and it says about Tim Warren, and then it says comments. And here's one from Belinda Grotzfeld. We're going to cover your comment today, Belinda. Here's another one from Pablo Carrega. We're going to talk to you, Pablo, today, and we're going to address your concern and your question. And then here's an answer from me. And then here's another comment from Laura Howard with Beyond Touring. You met her a few weeks ago when we did an interview, and she said, wow, she said, I have a bounce rate of 40 to 80%. Yikes. And she said that the interview that we did with Dan was really helpful. Here's a comment from Jack Farrell, and my comments back. And then here's where you would put your comments. Right here, it says speak your mind. So you don't have to be logged in or anything. You can just, there'll be a spot there to, I'm logged in, so it's not giving me the normal thing you would see, but you just put your name, your email, your web address, and your comments. And not only will you get your question answered, but also you're going to get a one-way link from an authority travel website, mine, which is highly ranked, and this is really important for your search engine ranking. So I really recommend you take advantage of that. Post your comments, get a business and marketing help, and help your search engine ranking at the same time. You can't go wrong. Anyway, so this is where you make your comments. What I did is I took the questions and the comments I received here in an email, and I tried to put them under various categories so that I could see where are their common pain points and where are their common challenges, so I could help a block of you at the same time. And today we're going to really focus in on web designers and webmasters and how you need to work with them and what you need to learn to maximize that money that you spend, because you can spend an awful lot of money with a webmaster, a web designer, and have a website that's dead on arrival, a total waste of money and what you spent, but worse, the lost opportunity in sales that you missed because you didn't have the basics covered. So I'm going to jump over to some of the questions here. Let me pull this away. I have two screens, and we're just going to show you some of the topics. So some of the questions we're going to be covering over the next 5 or 6 days is one about the economy. And by the way, the main categories you'll see here are red, big, bold red letters. We're going to talk about search engines. Today we're going to talk about website design. We're going to talk about webmasters and how to find a good one. And I've just pasted questions right into this sheet so I could read them and address them. Can you please review my site? I'm getting a lot of that because that's super valuable when you can have someone who can just really laser in and help you fine tune things, because really it only takes one little shift or one little improvement to have a big return on as far as your inquiries and your sales. And think about it. What is one new sale worth to you? What's 5 new sales? How about 10? What if you got 10 new sales every year just from one little tip that you got from me or from a fellow tourism professional? So we're going to talk about that. Why is my website not selling? I've done everything, I've even followed your advice, and I don't get it. We're going to talk about that. Here's a big one: how to get travel agents and tour operators to work with you. You're in a second or third world country. You run awesome trips; they're great, but you really want to get some travel agents and some other tour operators to work with you, and you want to know how to do that. We're going to talk about that. That's a really biggie. And I see most of you do a terrible job at communicating the key things having to do with credibility. I'm going to show you how to do that here and in my new course. Capturing leads from web visitors. We spend a lot of effort and time on our website, which you should. That's where all the action is. But if you're not capturing some of those leads in the form of emails, you're missing out on about 95% of the potential leads that you could convert. We're going to talk about web traffic and SEO and keywords and the fallacy that so many of you have about, oh wow, if I could just get more traffic, that I could sell more trips. That's an error. That's a delusion. It's all wrong. Actually, getting traffic is one of the easiest things, especially pay-per-click, which we'll cover later on in my course. But what's far more important is to have a website that sells, so that when you do drive targeted traffic there, they're really clear that, wow, I should be seriously thinking about your trip or your service or your destination, because you've convinced me through things like social proof. And we'll talk more about social proof. How to deal with safety and security issues. We live in a turbulent world with all kinds of problems going on all the time. I understand this, and this is where credibility and social proof are such a critical element to help you sell travel. And all the stuff I'm talking about, by the way, is not just about your website. This is all your travel marketing. Everything that we talk about here and in my course, this is really going to help you online, but the same principles apply to your advertising, your pay-per-click ads, your brochure, trade shows, starting relationships with strategic alliances like tour operators and travel agents. Well, here's a good one. I don't have time to study or learn. That's a good one. And we're going to cover that. And oh yeah, we got a lot more questions to cover. This is just a small snapshot of some of the topics I've been getting. So let's jump back up here. I appreciate you staying with me. Let's talk about website design. So I got a question here, and from a Rolanda Bacoy, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says, the unanswered mystery question for us is, after doing everything suggested regarding our website, it seems impossible to increase our traffic beyond 10 clicks per day. My question is the Philippines not a desired destination for the traveling public? Is it due to the strange and a bit unpronounceable name of our town? Why is the tourist traffic so poor in the Philippines compared with other Southeast Asian countries? So she's actually got a couple questions here. Now here's the key thing I want you to listen to, and then we're going to go look at her site, and you tell me what's missing. You tell me, and you tell Rolanda what you think she needs to do, because I think you're going to see it if you've especially been watching some of those videos. It says, we have tried, and I commend Rolanda for trying. She's trying different things, but it's still not working for her. It says, we have tried videos, language translation buttons, special online discounts, weather information, interactive buttons, general travel and hotel information, even a travel IQ game. Nothing seems to make a pronounced difference. Our booking conversion rate on the site is miserable. We are registered with major travel agencies and have good internet recognition. We have our own Facebook page. What more can we do to attract visitors? These are excellent questions, and you can see she's been busy on things. So what I've done here, let's pull this over here. I've opened up her site. So here we are at the Donna Marta Boutique Hotel. So quickly, we're going to do the 5-7 second rule. So look at this. Can you tell me, if I didn't tell you that she went to the Philippines, would you know? Secondly, and then we're going to look at the top page. Let's just scroll down here a little bit. Here's our hotel story. And you can see some of the stuff she was talking about. We've got the weather there. We've got this Yahoo thing. We've got a book now. We've got this weird sort of figure. I don't know what he does. Live help. There's all this stuff down here. There's the address powered by, there's a booking engine. You tell me, what do you think's wrong? And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at this site, and you can go to, if you go to travelbusinesssuccess.com and you look at that blog posting, why most travel websites are dead on arrival, you'll not only see her comments, but there'll be a link right to her site. But it's the Donna Donya martahotel.com. You are lacking, and I'm going to, sorry about this, I got to go back to Rolando. You are lacking any sort of credibility here. There's nothing here that endorses you or tells me that someone's traveled before you and stayed at your hotel, had a good time, and would recommend it. It's not there. You've got too much stuff going on here. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's kind of unprofessional, but that's not the issue. You lack credibility. I don't know where you're traveling. I don't see any credibility elements, and you've got too much stuff going on. And then down here, you've got her story, which is all about the hotel, but it's nothing about what's in it for me. I'm the guest that's going to possibly stay at your hotel. You really got to think in terms of why I would enjoy it, why I'm looking for it, and this thing about the Philippines, is the Philippines not a desired destination? That's a fallacy. There's no place in the world people aren't going, and even in turbulent areas. Remember, my brother, who's got this lodge in Baja, Mexico, they've had tens of thousands of people murdered, heads cut off. But yet, tourism, although it's certainly lagging in certain parts of the country, in spite of that, my brother last year had a record year in sales, and 2011 is looking good, and 2012 is looking good too. Why? Good marketing communication, and he practices the very things that I've talked about. Let's go look at another question. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these because you know me, I can talk, and I want to just really laser in on for you. Here was a Webmasters, how to find a good one. It's a James from Uganda. I'm seeking a travel web designer, a professional travel web designer who can help a company increase sales, profits, and arrivals online. Good question. And then here's from Pablo. And I'm gonna actually show you his actual comment down here because I want to be fair to Pablo. He says, thanks, hey Tim, hi Tim, thanks a lot for the videos, it's really insightful. I'm just starting my adventure travel company with 2 partners. We're not even a year old yet. Congratulations, Pablo, it's exciting to start a new company. Actually, we haven't started selling yet. We are still finishing the product, testing out of our routes. We plan to have our first commercial group April 8th, 2012. This is a really exciting time. It says, at the moment, we have a very simple website we created in 2 weeks in order to have some online presence for the I guess must be the Adventure Travel Trade Show World Summit, which was in Mexico, in Chiapas, not that long ago. It's fulfilled its purpose as it helped us network. It says then here's his question. Now we're about to start building a whole new website. I'm still researching companies and web developers that might be up for the job. I really want to develop the best website in both design and functionality. My big question is, how to choose a company that will help us design a good online digital strategy, develop our website, and implement a digital marketing campaign. I really hope you can help us. Once again, thanks a lot for your tips. Best, Pablo. First, Pablo, thank you so much for your question, and congratulations to you and your partners for your exciting new business. So I'm going to reference JJ. I'm going to reference Laura. I'm going to reference Dan Austin, who was in Chiapas, by the way, and won the big award from ATTA and was just recognized by Travel and Leisure magazine for some of the giving back he's doing with Wheels of Change. Excuse me. Here's the key thing that not only Pablo, but for so many of you, you have this belief that there's this kind of magic web designer out there, or this magic webmaster who's just can create this, put this site up and everyone's going to come streaming in. Web designers are just that. They're designers. They can make things look really pretty, and I think that's great. But they forget the main reason for your website, really all your marketing, it's to get people enrolled in what you do and get them off their fannies to call you or email so you can sell and convert that prospect into a sale. And the best way to do that is for you to learn the basics of marketing communication on your website, to learn the basics of keywords and some basic SEO stuff. Not that you have to do it yourself, but in my new course, I'm going to show you enough material so you could do it yourself. But more importantly, as JJ said, is that once he learned this stuff from me, he was able to go and double check his work. And same with Dan, and find out, unfortunately, that they were missing so many key things that they needed to get indexed in the search engines. But more importantly, the site wasn't selling. Not so much for Dan Austin, but certainly for JJ. So here's my advice to you, Pablo, is there's a lot of good people out there. I would look at some of the websites that I showcased in the travel website Superstars. And I go into great detail in my new course of the travel websites of Sales Superstars, where we broke down their site in great detail. We looked at exactly what made those sites rock, why they sold so well. What you should do is you should copy those designs. You should copy those key elements and of all this stuff I've been giving you and what you see in those websites and when I break it down. And then you might even look at who did their website. It's usually right at the bottom. And that would be a good start. But more importantly, you need to create an architecture, a structure. And in my new course, there's a whole worksheet section called the Defining Credibility Worksheet. And it helps you go step by step and get your credibility statement, your defining headline. Another next thing is the descriptive text, and there's a whole thing about social proof, and it gives you a building block not only for your website but for all your travel marketing. And like Dan Austin said, it was so important to him that he had it tattooed on his behind. It was so profound. And when they were creating their new first brochure 15 years ago, that he's used it through as a marketing building block over all these years. And hey, he's having record years. They sell very expensive trips in a very competitive marketplace. So I think that it's doing well for him. So I hope, Pablo, that you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's not so much about the particular person, and yes, I can make some recommendation, but it's more important for you to have a clear understanding of your market, your defining credibility statement, how you're going to represent yourself, what it's going to look like, what are those key elements that must be in your marketing messages, so that you can guide your web person who really should be your technical guidance. I'm not a tech wizard. I use webmasters for everything I do, but I guide them in a way that I know works. I help them create the marketing messages that sell. Pretty's nice, but I'd rather have something that absolutely converted strangers into friends and friends into customers over something that was state-of-the-art flash and real pretty and didn't work any day of the week. Let's move on. Let's look at the next question here. This was a good one. So we talked about webmasters, how to find a good one. Okay, here's Belinda. You just sent me this. You can see it's on. It was on the 5th of this month from Belinda Grootveld from saffronjerba.com. It says, my people love my website, but I'm really covering all territory. Am I really covering all territory properly? My company is located in Jerba, Tunisia. I live in Italy, but I would like to target the North American market, as I feel that after the Tunisian Revolution and good flight connections, Tunisia's rebirth will bring new tourists. So our question is, it's one question. My webmaster is located in Vancouver, Canada. Does this handicap my site? Thank you, Tim, for passing on some valuable information. Belinda Grootveld. Thank you, Belinda. I appreciate that. A great question. I'm going to answer the last question first. Absolutely not. Your webmaster located in Vancouver, they could be in the North Pole for all I matter. As long as they've got a reliable internet connection and You are guiding them on the marketing message that you want to set, you want them to say. Now, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit, Belinda, because I want people to look at your site here, and we're going to give it the 7-second rule. So I've opened it up here. So here we are. We're looking at her site. So, dun, 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 dun. So you're looking at the site. Can you tell me what they do or where they go? I looked at it at first and I thought it was a mistake. I thought this was a site for selling jewelry. But if you look down here, it says distinguished historical guest homes with private pools, Isle of Jerba, Tunisia. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. So here's my question to you, Belinda, is my people love my website. Well, who are your people? Are these your staff? Are these the people who have already booked? I'd be more curious about who are the people who are coming to your site and are leaving right away. Do you have Google Analytics or some sort of tracking software in your website? I'd be willing to bet that you get the majority of the people that come to your website, if they even find you, leave, because it's not clear where you go, what you do, or more importantly, why should they consider you? Now you have to click on some other buttons here, and I also want to point out something else. It says Saffron, Jerba, Tunisia. You lack all the key words that someone would want to look at to decide if they want to come to you. So I clicked on welcome. Okay, here's the welcome page. Once again, I'm really not quite sure what you do. The text is way too small. There's no social proof. So once again, folks, you who are watching this, that's right, what you should do is you should go to this website, and you can get access to it from my website, it's Saffron, SAFRAN dash DGERBA.com, and I'll enlarge this so you can see that. Go there. Why don't you send Belinda your thoughts? Why don't you send her your suggestion? Or on the bottom of the where she posted the question on my site, which I believe was let's go here. Why most travel websites are it's the posting having to do with why most travel websites are dead on arrival. Why don't you go and you make your suggestions to Belinda? I've given you mine. I'm not wanting to pick on you, Belinda. I'm just trying to help you. And the other key thing that you've got going here, and I'm not going to I'm going to cover it more later, but Tunisia travel will bounce back someday. It's happened to so many destinations all around the world, be they political, natural resources, natural disasters, or something else, where things implode, and they usually come back. So it will come back, and I agree with you, there will be opportunities there, but I think the more important thing is that you need to make sure that your website is clear on what it is you're offering, 2, why they should come visit you, and I think 3, especially if you're selling travel and anywhere there's been any natural disaster or political upheaval, you must communicate safety, security, and social proof more than anything. Because I guarantee you, people, before they're considering traveling to any of those destinations, and they are traveling there, they want to know that their safety and security is going to be absolutely your number one concern, and you've got to communicate that in your marketing communications. I've shown you some examples, but my course goes into great detail on how you can represent this in all of your marketing, especially on your website, so that it's so critical. Just looking at my notes here. Let me stop for a moment. I'll come right back. All right, I'm back. Just to summarize, for Pablo and for Belinda and for Rolando in the Philippines, it's so critical. And for all of you who've got the same question about, gee, I don't know, who do I pick to do my website? It's imperative that you invest some time, invest a little money in your education, because it's probably has one of the highest return on investments you will ever make. Because what's far more expensive is spending thousands of dollars or weeks and weeks or months and months and creating a website that's dead on arrival, doesn't sell, and That doesn't even count the lost revenue and lost momentum from a site that wasn't doing what it's supposed to do, and that's grab people's attention and get them thinking about you, getting them calling you, getting them emailing you. So I want to move on to, I wanted to show you some examples of social proof. I've shown you all along some, in the trainings I've done, I've given you little examples. What kind of marketing guy would I be if I didn't practice what I preach? So right down below this video, you're going to see at least a couple testimonials. And this is to show you examples of social proof, specifically what people have said about me. Because you don't really know me from Adam, but the proof is in the pudding, and it's based on what other people say about you. So when you're doing your testimonials, when you're going out there and getting those, when you're working on your social proof, I would say it's probably the single most important thing, especially today in travel, because there's no place that people can't go. There's nothing they can't do, and you have enormous competition. That's the downside. The good news is the internet's the best tool ever for marketing small to medium-sized enterprises and to help you compete against those big guys and to give you a competitive advantage. But you can't do it alone. You need to rely on social media tools like TripAdvisor and Facebook, and I'm going to show you how to do that in the course, and how to set it up, and how to position, and how to get the best type of testimonials that will help get your clients selling for you. It's so much easier to convert a stranger into a friend and a friend into a booking or a rival when your best clients are selling for you on your website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the best kind of sales and marketing you will ever do. And then when you supercharge it by tapping into the tools that I'm going to give you in this course and show you how to set it up, you're going to be getting not only your website as a gateway, but you're going to have doorways like Facebook and TripAdvisor and YouTube and all these places where people are recommending you and reviewing you and giving you comments. And it's no different than when you go to, you're going to check out a movie, or you're wanting a new doctor, or you're going to go out to eat. And it's a new place that you're not familiar with, or a new doctor. Don't you ask your friends? Don't you ask for some opinions? Don't you look for some reviews before you just boldly go out there? Most people do, and it's no different than your travel website. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the two videos down below here. There's going to be at least two that I'm going to post, which are testimonials for me, about me, and these are some of the people that you've met on our journey together over the last 6 weeks, and see what they have to say about what a difference it's made for them studying and learning my material, studying and working with me, and how do they feel about me? You want to make sure that people, more than anything, do they have the skill? Do they have the proof that they can do what they can say they do? But are they fun to work with? I'd like to think of that I'm a compassionate, fun, no BS kind of guy that's going to give you the answers that you need. Because we all have similar problems, but you have unique problems too, and I want to help you, and I think I figured out a way to do that, to give you that one-on-one help for a fraction of my cost of my daily consulting. But I'll talk more about that later. So in closing, and as usual, I've gone longer than I thought. Can I say it? Call to action. Your call to action. This is your opportunity to start going from just learning things to applying things. That's where the money's going to be made. I want you to go to my blog posting, and I want you to find why most travel websites are dead on arrival. If you haven't watched the video, watch the video. But go down below where the comments are and find the comments that we talked about today, and share, and go and look at the website, and you share your ideas, you share your thoughts, and you give them your suggestion. Why? 1, you're going to learn this on a deeper level. 2, we're going to help each other because we're all in this together. Some of the best stuff that I learned 20 years ago when I was helping my brother start and build his travel business in Baja, Mexico, I got from other people. I looked to what other successful people were doing. I asked questions. I looked for mentors. I looked for help. I wasn't afraid to ask because the alternative of failing was less scary than asking people. And boy, am I glad I did. So I've been on this constant journey to learn. So I want you to go look, learn, share your tips, help your fellow tourism professional out. And if you haven't emailed me your top question, your top concern, whether it's about website marketing, about my new course, do that now. In the bottom of this particular posting where you're watching this is a place to, I think it's share your opinion or share your tips or whatever it is. Write it out there. So not only will you get help and allow me to help you, but you're also going to get a one-way link pointed at your website. And there's a whole section in my new course having to do specifically about how to get indexed properly in the search engines, how to get your search engine ranking up, and how to teach you enough to know to want to either do it yourself or better yet, double check your webmaster's work so that you can increase your ranking. But one of the secrets is, and Google has said this time and time again, is one-way links. Two-way links no longer a good thing. One-way link from a top-rated authority site, ideally in your niche, which is what I have. I have a travel website, and you go look at the rankings yourself. Check out my Alexa ranking. It's a top-ranked site. So a one-way link from my site pointed back at your site, this is really going to help you with your search engine ranking. My gift to you, because you're helping me create the solutions for you. Tourism Tim signing off. Until tomorrow, we're gonna cover more specific questions that you've asked, not only the ones I've had, but ones I haven't even listed here, and new ones to come. And I'm gonna walk through this, and I'm gonna address your questions, I'm gonna address your concerns, and be sure to put Wednesday, November 17th on your calendar, because I think my grand opening is going to be 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and when the doors open, there's going to be some awesome goodies that I'm going to let you know about over the next 4 or 5 days. So stay tuned. I'm going to put out something every day. I don't do this ever. I don't put out something every day. I don't think I've ever done that. And I'm not going to do it anymore because it's been a lot of work. It's fun. It's a lot of work. So stay with me. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your input. I appreciate you helping your fellow tourism professional. Tourism Tim signing off. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.